Hello, my name is Joseph Lee, and this is a Lesson 8 Whylock worksheet for first graders. Now, the first page is on addition, and it seems that we just have to simply solve these equations. Let's do number 1, number 6, and number 11. Okay, number 1 is 56 plus 30. Now, 56 plus 30, we can just simply add this easily by arranging the equation in a vertical way and adding 5 plus 3 and bring it down, which is 8, and 6 plus 0, which is 6, and now we have our answer, 86. Okay, let's do number 6. This is 20 plus 74. Now we could, just like the first problem, we could arrange it in the vertical way, and again add this number, or the tens place, which is 9, and the ones place, which is 4, and now we get our answer, 94. And last but not least, let's do 11. For these kind of problems where there's 3 things, we can always just simplify it and add these two first numbers first. So 4 plus 5, which is 9, and then add this number with the third number. So that gives us 9 plus 3 equals 12. Let's move on to the next problem, which is on subtraction. Now again, let's just do number 1, number 6, and number 11. Okay, so 17 minus 3. Well, that's easy. We can just arrange it in the vertical way, just like we did for addition. But this time, instead of adding, we will subtract. So this one, there's like an invisible 0 here. So 1 minus 0, which is just 1. 7 minus 3 is 4. And this gives us our answer, 14. Let's do 86 minus 51. Just like the first problem, we can arrange it in this way and subtract 5 from 8, which is 3, and 1 from 6, which is 5. Now we get our answer, 35. Now for these kinds of answers, or excuse me, questions, you can only subtract the first two numbers, not the second two numbers. And the reason why is because if we subtract the second two numbers, we'll get a negative number, and that's going to be a whole mess to add or subtract. So we only subtract the first two numbers and then subtract the other number. So 7 minus 1, we get 6, and subtract 6, or subtracting 2 from 6, meaning we get our answer, 4. Let's move on to page 3. Now on page 3, it's talking about shapes, and with shapes comes sides, and the name of the shape depends on each side. So obviously, number 1 is called a triangle, and this is actually because there are 3 or tri, which means 3 angles. So triangle. You can see that there's 1, 2, 3 angles. That's just a little fun fact. Let's try number 5. Now, this shape actually doesn't have any sides, and that's what we call it has many names. You could call it ellipse or sort of weird circle, but we can just call it a oval. Or a circle. There's many names for that. Now, instead of naming them, we're going to draw the shapes that correspond with each name. Let's try number 3, a square, and let's try number 5. Now, a square has 4 even length sides, or I should say same side length, yeah. And because of that, we can use that to our ability and draw the shape. Now the square also has 4 right angles, which just means that the sides form like this super sharp edge here. It's very pointy, and a right angle is notified by this little square thing at the edge. So whenever you see that, you should think right angle. Now let's just draw the square, 1 side, 2 side, 3 side, and 4 side, and it looks about even, so we'll just call this our square. Now let's draw a cylinder. Now a cylinder is a bit more complicated, But we can just, if we unwrap it, we'll see that it kind of looks like this. A cylinder will usually have this kind of form, and that's because if we unwrap this, it'll look something like this. If you ever see a soda can, it's pretty much what a cylinder looks like. These two circles will be the same, will have the same area and pretty much be identical to each other. And this rectangle here will wrap around the edge of the circle, or what we call the circumference. And once you paste it all together, you'll get a shape that kind of looks like this. Let's move on to page 3, or excuse me, 4, page 4. All right, so here it says, use the table to answer the questions. The table seems like it's about favorite ice cream flavors, and the flavor are listed here, and the number of votes for those flavors are listed here. Let's answer question 1, 5, and 7. So how many people like chocolate flavor best? Now we can just look at the table and go to the chocolate section and go to the number of votes section for chocolate and count the number of tallies listed here. Now, each of these sections have 5 votes, or 5 tallies, meaning 5 votes, and we can just count the number of sections and then go on from there. So you have 1 section, 2 sections, and 3 sections. So you just add 5 votes for each section, which gives us 15 votes for chocolate, which gives us our answer. Let's go to question 5. How many people like chocolate and vanilla? So and, that means addition. So we just add the number of chocolate votes and the number of vanilla votes. So the number of vanilla votes, we have 1 section here, 2 sections here. So we add 5 plus 5 votes equals 10 votes. So we add 10 votes for vanilla and 15 votes for chocolate, giving us 25 votes. And the last question says, how many people were surveyed, which just means to count all the number of votes that have been recorded in this table. Now we already know chocolate and vanilla, so we can just keep those answers. So let's just count the strawberry and mint. So here there's another section, so that's another 5 votes. But here there's only 1 section, so we can only count that 1 vote, which gives us 5 plus 1 votes, which is 6 votes. Now finally, let's count mint. So there's 1 section here, and there's 4 votes here, giving us 9 votes. And if we add 15 plus 6, giving us 21, and 10 plus 9, which is 19, and then adding these 2 numbers together, we should get 21 plus 19 equals 40 people. Thank you for listening.